But if that person would have just kept looking for their spouse in that one way they thought and imagined they would meet their spouse, that narrow lifestyle would actually be limiting them from meeting other people, because it's just impossible for us to know how God's going to introduce us to the one. And so again, those expectations of how it's going to happen end up being limiting beliefs on us. For example, this really is one of the ways I met my wife. I met my wife on a missions trip, and finding a spouse was really the last reason I went on that missions trip. That was the furthest thing from my mind. But when I went on that missions trip, I inadvertently did things that make a lot of sense of why you would meet someone there. I went somewhere where there was a lot of other Christian singles. Other like-minded people were doing things that I was doing. And through these natural ingredients, God brought Bethany into my life. But I would never have gone on that missions trip if I was just narrowly minded and thinking, I'm going to find my spouse in this one specific way. Because I wasn't doing that and living my life in a different way, God had opportunity to introduce me to different people. This same type of thing happened in the Bible at many points. For example, when Moses fled Egypt, he went to Midian, and there God introduced him to Zipporah. But if he would have just stayed in Egypt and kept doing the same things, he would never have left and found a new location and thus found his future wife. The same thing happened to Jacob when he fled from Esau. He went to a new location. His life completely changed, and he wasn't looking for a wife there, but that's when he was introduced to Rachel. So all that to say, perhaps when you let go of the expectations of how you thought you were going to meet the one, you will then be able to live your life in a different way, and God will use that different path to introduce you to the person he does want you to marry one day.